So I always felt like my work, I never had like a clear message with my work. And I was really into color, but I tried to make up things to make it feel more substantial when I was starting out. And so, but I've always been really attracted to work that, that communicates ideas and clearly. And, I share a building in Sausalito, California, the Industrial Center building. And one of the artists is with me today, and it's Steve Mangum. And I just can't wait to share you his work because it is so powerful. Thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.
I've been walking by your studio. I keep your doors closed a lot, and I peeked in at Open Studios and I saw this recent work. I know it's, tell us about the work. I mean, it's there's civil rights history here and oppression and all that.
Okay. Well, I grew up in Mississippi, in the Mississippi Delta in the 1960s and 50s and 60s. It was clearly the epicenter of the civil rights movement. And so I saw crosses burning. I saw men running around with sheets on their head. Saw all that stuff, but I was a child and didn't quite grasp everything that was going on. But it's it's sort of where I come from, and through these paintings.
I'm just curious, were your parents like, oh my God, the world's turning upside down, or what was it like? Like, was this just like the norm? Like, you're an upper middle class white family. Was it just look the other way, or how did it? I mean,
well, my parents were progressive, but they were also self-preservationists. I mean, it wasn't a good time to go out and be, the one person in the area that was an activist for civil rights, because it was that's what the community was. That's what the norm was. But they raised us that we're all the same children, and we're all the same. They were progressive enough to allow me to study with this black artist, which
that was your first,
which was an unheard of thing at the time, but clearly saw no problem with it. But it's what we grew up with. It's we didn't know anything different. But as the civil rights movement was gaining traction, it became more and more newsworthy. Every night on the news, the latest atrocity, and you can go on and on and on and on about all the things that happened.
And these paintings, these are this backdrop of this contrast of the privilege and the it was you've superimposed them, and these are your grandchildren.
These are my grandchildren, yes, and so I'll speak to this painting because I think it gives a pretty good example of what I was looking to communicate, the message I was looking to communicate, that within the sphere of civil rights and racism and so on, there's so many different avenues. There's segregation, there's police brutality. But here I was thinking about white privilege, which was a concept that I didn't really embrace until, in the last 6 or 8 years. I didn't really understand the privilege that it is to grow up with white skin.
Right.
And I think of white privilege as being not having to be afraid if you get pulled over for speeding because your skin is black. And it go on and on. But this particular painting, I was thinking about white privilege. And so here we've got, a white child with his Happy Meal. And he's pleased and proud as punch. Life is fantastic. And he's got a world of opportunity in front of him. But in the background, we've got this parade of children who were peacefully protesting for civil rights, who were being escorted to jail. And and limited opportunity, inadequate education, no no voting ability, no capability of being in control of their destiny. Yeah. And so I wanted to find a way of comparing these two and showing the tension.
Yeah. Yeah. This is me growing up. I mean, I wasn't in the South, but I was a young kid when this was going on, and I had, you would hear about it. And I just love how the background leaks through. It's kind of like privilege actually isn't privilege. It's privilege, but it's got like none of us are privileged if some of us aren't kind of idea.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
This is a horror film, actually.
Yeah, and the reason for the bleeding through is because as a white child, I had privilege, and that was 60 years ago. And today, as a white child, privilege is still something that exists as much, as ever. Yeah. And so that's the reason for the background bleeding through, is to show that it's still there. It's pervasive. It permeates the present as much as it was present in the past.
How do you stay on this? Like, it's challenging, and like, this is such a hard dark thing. How do you, like, you're making many paintings of this and you're just illuminating this. I mean, is it like you're just showing this and reminding us we need a course correction, but I mean, how do you for me, it would just be hard because it's hard, I don't know, I mean, it's selfish, but it's like, you're doing this all the time,
I'm trying to remember, Nick, who it was that's, came up with the notion that silence is complicity. Mm-hmm. And that's sort of how I feel. And that if I don't address this in my art, then am I enabling, or I guess I feel committed to do whatever I can. Okay, I said that I've always been a crusader. Mm-hmm. I was born a crusader, and I'll die a crusader.
Yeah, it's like it's great because it's unavoidable, and just putting these two together, it's just the juxtaposition so powerful,
Well, it's work it's not that it's work that I want to make. Yeah. It's work that I have to make.
Right. Wow, man, it's just, it's really powerful. Well, thank you so much for sharing this. And you guys, you got to look at all this work. You can follow him on Instagram. We have the links below. It's powerful stuff. It's really, art making is amazing, and you can channel it in so many ways. And I really appreciate your work. So thank you. Leave a comment below for Stephen, and definitely let's talk about this. So cool. Thanks a lot for being here, and I'll see you real soon. Okay.